session. I also have with me my counterpart.
Hi, I am Noelle Elvier. Thank you all so much for being here. We're both from the Ed Tech department, and we're happy to share what we have put together for you today. So if you could go ahead, I think Lee's going to drop in the chat the Title IV form that is going to get you your stipend. Just as a reminder, I think this was sent out through ELM. You must be on teacher contract, CTA contracted, not necessarily a CTA member, but you must be on CTA contract in order to receive the stipend and be in attendance for the full hour. So go ahead and get that form completed. We will be processing payments soon, but expect it to be in your paycheck later this month. Give you a couple more seconds to do that, and then we'll do some housekeeping and get the show on the road. So we have just over 100 folks in this session with us today. So it's going to be super important that you keep your mics muted. We will be, while Lee's presenting, I'll be doing the chat and vice versa. She's much faster at typing than I am, full disclosure. But if you could keep your questions in the chat, that would be super helpful. Do engage. This will be interactive. Lee's going to do some pieces that will allow you to kind of follow along, and then I'll be doing some at the end. So please, if you are on a mobile device, it may be easier if you have access to a desktop or a laptop, but we want you to participate with us and keep those questions coming in the chat. If we have time at the end, we can come off mute or maybe stick around for a few minutes to answer any questions. So sorry. To follow along with us, we do have a viewing version of this. So this is going to be, this entire presentation is going to be in Canva. When Lee gets to her part that will be in Lumio, she's going to share a separate link for that. But you can follow along with us here on, this is kind of a public view in Canva. So this will be your copy to keep. I suggest that you bookmark it. However, I will send out the resources that we shared in today's session tomorrow along with the recording. So you will have a copy again. But if you want this for safekeeping, go ahead and bookmark it for yourself. And if you've gone ahead and downloaded that link or opened that link rather, Lee is going to get us started.
Yep. So make sure you've clicked on the link that I just put in the chat or the QR code on the screen, because the next activity is, again, we're all about engagement. So you got to participate, which means you need to have that link open, ready to rock on. So we are going to do a poll. So welcoming ritual with this poll is, how often do you incorporate opportunities for your students to collaborate into your instructional routine? So if this pops up on your screen, because you've of course used the link that I put in the chat, I want you to select your choice. And how do you feel? So as it's starting, again, I see at the bottom, you can see here, I have 10 votes already. So I appreciate those early workers hustling with heart this morning. I appreciate you. And I'm going to give it a second longer before I look into it. Go ahead. If you have the link that we put in the chat for you to utilize the session, you'll be able to go to this welcome ritual page and click on which one.
And if you click on one, Lee,
yep,
you should.
I'm
okay.
gonna. Yeah, I see a lot of people putting in the chat, but if you do have the session, we definitely want to see you put it right here on yours, because I'm actually going to be able to see your results. So I'm going to do that right now. So how often do I incorporate opportunities? I'm usually an often one. So as you can see here, once I select it, I'm able to see everyone else's votes. So the majority is with me. It's the often. So we got some always, which I appreciate. That's awesome. Some lessons moderately. Okay. Yep. And even again, if you are in an instructional, non-instructional role or administrator, you could still talk about it, how you incorporate collaborative routines with not students, but other educators or colleagues. So I appreciate you filling this out if you like this. This is in Canva. We'll do a little blurb of that later. So I'm going to move on, and I appreciate those who filled that out and worked with me. So, okay, at the bottom of your Google Meet, there's a smiley face. I want a thumbs up, thumbs down if you've ever used Jamboard. I mean, honestly, yes. Remember the COVID days? Yes. Jamboard was the jam, right? Well, unfortunately, Jamboard has gone away. It's retired. Its end of life was December of 2024. You can't even look at your jams anymore, which is sad, but it was fantastic while it was available to us. And we want to share why was it fantastic? Because you got that engagement with your students. So we want to show you other tools where you can still get that engagement with the students. It's just because Jamboard has gone away, we're going to show you new ways to get those engagement up with your students. So there are 3 approved, we're going to call them other alternatives to Jamboard. One of them is Google Slides. We're not going to hit on Google Slides today because personally, it's a lot of work and it's not one of our fan faves. That's just our personal opinion. We've done it a couple times and it's just not one of our fan favorites. There is Lumio and the other one is Canva. So we're going to focus on those 2 today to show you how you can make a collaborative space within your students, whether it's individually, groups, or whole class. So we're going to show you both of those great parts within those features. Lumio. If you've never heard of Lumio, I've seen some familiar faces already today. So I'm assuming most of us that were here on Tuesday know a little bit about Lumio. So you're going to have an interactive lesson with Lumio. You're able to take your pre-made lessons, whether it's a slide or a Canva deck presentation, upload it, and have engagement opportunities within Lumio. It came as Smart Learning Suite with our Smartboard. However, you do not need a Smartboard to use it. I also want to preface this and say that Lumio is not going away. I know as an educator myself, I hated when we were like introduced to something and then it went away within 2 years. So that's very upsetting when you put your heart and soul into something. Lumio is not going away. We have this literally for like 10 plus years. So please feel free to get comfortable with it, utilize it, and it's a great way to monitor the engagement of your students. And honestly, even as a middle school math teacher, even my middle schoolers like this. So 3 features that we're going to focus on today in reference to the collaborative whiteboards: Shout It Out, Group Workspace, and Whole Class Whiteboard. Those are the 3 that we're going to focus on. Most of the time, you've probably done a Shout It Out before. I know we talked about a little bit about the other 2 within Lumio on Tuesday, but we're going to go more in depth today. How do you get to Lumio? So if you've never been to Lumio, we make it super easy for you. There's a tile in your portal. So all you have to do is in the search feature, click on the search button, type in Lumio, and it pops up. Another way to do it is the waffle. I still don't know if that's the correct term, but that's what I'm going with. The waffle in the top right-hand corner. And you scroll all the way down and you'll see the app Lumio. So what we're going to do is I'm going to get you in. I think Noelle is going to be nice enough and put the link in the chat. So you're going to go into my session. So I've already started it. So you can see here, I'm waiting for students to connect. So you are going to either use the link that Noelle put in the chat or the QR code on the screen to access my class. I already got 1 student. Make me happy. My early birds. So we have what, 100? I'm at least hoping for a good 80 can pop on my Lumio. So let's go, ladies and gents. 30. Almost there. Halfway there. Keep going. Keep going. Give it a couple more minutes. As you can see on the screen, this is how your students would also log on. You can either share the link in your Google Classroom. You can put the QR code on the screen. Once they're in your class, my class is 222875, they'll always be able to access my class. They'll just toggle between different teachers. 56, come on, everybody. Come on, wake it up. You can get another cup of coffee after today's session. Come on. All right, so welcome to Lumio. This is my lesson. So I'm going to show you how Lumio can be engaging If you have students coming in, you can see here on the left-hand screen, I can click on that and show all of my friends today. I appreciate you. If you have students that arrived late, like every teacher does, you can click this where it shows your class ID, which means at the bottom of your screen, if you come in late, you can always go to Lumio and type in this class ID and you'll be accessed and right into my lesson, because we always got those friends that come in late. So welcome to Lumio. So first thing is first, if you didn't know, like I said before, it's a web-based platform. At Smart Learning Suite, they have really refined Lumio. They have made it super awesome with their new features. You have now AI in there, and I'm going to show you a little bit about that as well. You could have shared libraries where you and your team can actually, one person does one lesson, shares it with the team. Work smarter, not harder, right? And again, it makes it all engaging for the students. It really is a great piece. You can see here too that when I click on this button, I can change it from teacher to student. I'm the teacher, which means I want to make sure that you're staying at the pace of mine. So whatever you see on my screen is going to stay on your screen. If I did student pace, well, then they can toggle whichever they feel like. To me, I'm a little OCD and I want you to follow along. So everybody's going to be on the same one. And I did the class the same way as that. So today's menu, like I said, we're going to go in this order. So we're going to first test the waters with Shout It Out. With that, test the waters, because we're in summer right now, if you haven't got the vibe. Group workspace, and then we're going to go into whole class whiteboard. So why do people like Shout It Out? It gives you immediate feedback. It's kind of like polling the class for a question and sharing all the results instead of just answering a couple hands in the air. You can have it as open-ended. You can also set it up as categories to, organize their responses. And again, real quick feedback. So we are going to practice this. So as you can see here, just as you would be for the teacher, you have Shout It Out. It says probably on yours, waiting for teacher to start it. I'm going to start it for you. So on your screen, you are going to see an example. It says, give examples on when you would utilize a collaborative whiteboard in your instruction. So I want you to give me some answers. And as you see, when people start responding, I'm going to get some answers. Oh, I'm going to get some answers and I can move them. Morning check-in, review. Literally, I am so excited that you guys are participating this morning. I appreciate you. Oh, they're popping off now. Brainstorming for ideas. Fantastic. Bell ringers, exit tickets. Love the exit ticket idea. Ooh, love it, love it, love it. Who are the characters in the story? Yes, you can alter how many responses you actually can fill out. So if there's 3 characters, you can have them say 3 responses. Perfect. And as you can see on my screen, so bear with me here. You might be participating on your phone or even on your computer, but as you can see on my screen, I can see all the responses. Notice I did not put names attached to them. You could do this as well. So if you are doing an exit ticket, you don't maybe want their names to be shown because you don't want, students to feel like they're going to always get the wrong answer. I can double click and you can see here. It makes it brighter, starting a new topic. Ooh. Okay. I'm sorry. Understand students' prior knowledge. Some of these are fantastic. I could literally just hug you all. This is wonderful. This is a Shout It Out. So a collaborative whiteboard, again, super quick. It takes me no time to type in a question regarding reading, math, science, anything. So again, you can see here all of the different ways, like I said before, you can show their names. So if you are doing something where you want to make sure, oh, Bobby, like, where are you? Well, I haven't seen you. You can have their name attached to show their responses, or you can make it anonymous. So the reason why I also love it is you can change the background. So you can actually search through Bing to find the background. Again, if you notice, I stuck with the summer pool theme because that's all on my mind right now. I actually was able to upload my background to make it that theme, to match it. Do you have to do that? No, they have their own, which is great. You can update the amount of entries. So say you just want one answer because that math question only had one result. You can make sure that they only enter once. You can also, for those ESOL, ELL students, again, ESE students, you can have them if there's a language barrier, you can have them upload pictures, okay? So fantastic way. In the end, you'll be able to actually see the results as well and who participated and what they participated with their response. So group workspace is awesome. So this is where you're able to actually have them, hence the word, working groups. So the only downside is there's always some downsides. And again, just because it's a downside today doesn't mean it's going to be a downside 4 weeks from now, because these platforms are changing ever so often. The max you can have is 9 teams, 6 members. It's a great visual for teachers to show group work, how they are working collaboratively. There is a magic wand, and that magic wand does change this. And I'm going to show you that after we do all these. That way, if you ever wanted to create one, I'm definitely going to make sure you know how to do it. So we're going to test the waters out. So I have 78 participants in this group. Not everyone is going to be in a group workspace. So just be patient with us. If you don't, you can watch my screen. When you get to the group workspace, you can see I haven't set it up yet. So I cannot set this up prior because I need students in. I hope that makes sense. If you are a teacher and you wanted to use these group workspace, you cannot set this up until your students are in the actual lesson, because again, how does it know your students? So when I hit setup, if you look at my screen instead of yours, how many teams would I like? Yes, I would like 9. So it populates it in every single one. Like I said, we have more than the allotted. So some people will not be in it. Notice I can say, team 5, Noelle, there is no way you are working with Allison. Terrible group, terrible group. So I can just flop you. Same thing with Joshua. You and Marissa need to be in separate ones, and I can move them. So that's the nice part. Once I started, and again, we know that there's some kids that no matter how much you want to try to get them with their buddies, they just cannot work very well. So there's the option with your group. So when you are ready, on your screen, it says probably waiting for teacher to start. I'm going to start the workspace. So now on your screen, you are going to be able to, again, show me ways that you can incorporate a group workspace in reading and math. So you are in a group. So you need to start putting some answers in. You all have the ability to type on the screen. If those of you, unfortunately, are not lucky to be in a group workspace, you'll see my screen, and this is what a teacher would see. So I can take a look. I'm going to give them a minute because no pressure. It's still 9 o'clock on a Thursday, and it's summertime. I'm going to go slow and steady. You can see all of the groups, every single person who's in the group. And the best part of this, I get a live feed on what they're doing. So I'm just going to pick number 5 because it's in the middle. If I click on 5, group 5, what are you dilly-dallying? You have not even participated yet. So I can see what they've done. They've done nothing. So I need some typers in group 5. I can either go over here to my left side and go back into the teams, or I can toggle up at the top right. So I'm going to go over. Ooh, team 4, we got it. Reading examples. How could I use this for polling or multiple choice? Ooh, to solve a word problem. Oh, I had someone say it doesn't let me type. If you are in here and you see my screen, you're going to hit the 3 dots on the left-hand side. You're going to get the little A for the text bubble. Or hey, I want to add a picture. I can do this one with the icons. Team 3 is doing a great job. Again, the word problems, great reason. Responding to a text in a small group activity. Ooh, love that. Notice I can click on, as a teacher, I can click on it. So if Johnny, he is being unprofessional and very naughty, I can always delete that. I can also pull it down here, and you can see I can duplicate it. Noelle, I knew she was gonna participate. I can see who actually added it as a teacher. So this doesn't have to be shown to your students. This could be me at my desk looking at this and seeing what is Noelle doing. Like Noelle says she's doing it all in her group, which she might be. Here I can go and check. No, guys, Noelle did 4 responses and there's only 5, and there's 5 members. What's going on here? So I can clone it. I say maybe it's great and the other group needs a duplicate it. I could duplicate it, which means the other group needs another example. Here I go here. I can attach an audio and I could literally shout it out to Noelle. Fantastic job pulling the way to your group. I could do that if I wanted to. So all of these different options. But as a teacher, it's nice to know that when, you know, Noelle comes to you and says, hey, Mrs. Arnold, I did everything. I can actually look and see, yeah, you did. You entered all these different things. Here's group 1. Taking a look, I can see multiple problems. If I wanted to go back here and say, oh, yeah, Melissa, you said you were doing a lot. I can actually find Melissa in team 7. I can click on team 7 and see, wow, team 7, you rock it. And I can, again, right now I don't have anyone. I can move them around. I can make sure I can read them all. I love whoever did the reading examples. They're all organized. That is just OCD and me loving that. But again, there's no names attached unless the teacher wants to see it. So if I was to showcase, like, look at team 7 hustling with heart, showing all these great examples, I can pull it up on my screen. If I really wanted to look later on and say, did everyone pull their weight? I can click J Maple. I don't know, but that sounds like a nice name. Megan, all of these different participants, which is really great. At the end, you will see their results as well. Okay. I'm going to move on. I appreciate you hopefully loving group workspace. We're going to do one last one in Lumio called Whole Class Whiteboard. So again, more or less like a Jamboard. Collaboration, each person can contribute. Again, it's just great to see it visually as a whole class participating, throwing up theirs, and that magic wand again. And I know I'm talking a lot about it, but I swear to you, I will show you what that magic wand does. So yours on your screen also says waiting for teacher to start. This is a whole class whiteboard. Again, same thing with the issue of only having so many people on. So be patient if that's not yours. What you are going to do is, again, you can see on my screen, I'll have the overall results where it says shout it out, group workspace, whole class whiteboard. Which one do you like? Which one are you going to use in your instruction? And how are you going to use it? So it says up here, everyone can edit. Do you see that toggle right at the top right? I can turn it off. If I wanted to talk more about this first before you had the ability to share your answers, I could turn it off and talk. And Canva does that too, which is amazing. I love how some people put images. You can put an image, you can put some words. And how do you get to those is on the left-hand side, those 3 dots, you'll pop it out and you'll see text. Right here is where you can see I can search, add stickers, shapes, images. Widgets is a new thing, which is super cool. Ooh, love the group workspace. Ooh, love it. Give it a couple more seconds for you to share what you love about it. If you don't have access to it, put in the chat which one you're going to try first this coming school year and why are you going to try it. I would love to hear some whys. Maybe some people with stars or hearts can tell me why. Why? Small groups. Love having the ability to work in small groups, which is huge. Again, sometimes we want it, but sometimes it's a little difficult with depending on the type of kids we've got. Whole class whiteboard is another huge one, it seems. And again, so this person, this isn't Michael Jackson. I love Michael Jackson, but I'm going to delete real quick. Delete before anyone sees it. You can do that too. Ooh, love the accountability. Someone put accountability in whole class whiteboard for sure. I love this one and shout it out. Great for a morning meeting. Fantastic. Yes, this one is I would say one of my bucket list, definitely component I think is very important. Students learn from each other in a whole group work class, so our whole group workspace. Having different levels makes them, see what the others are doing, support others. I think it's huge. So I hope you like the whole class whiteboard. That's probably one that I do enjoy a lot of. So little did you know that there is actually new to Lumio's AI, and they have upped their game on the AI component. So there are a couple different ones that you can use AI with response, monster quiz, team quiz, speed it up, and game show. As a middle school math teacher, I used monster quiz quite frequently. And if I had this AI, it would have been a whole lot more simpler. you can actually pull down your standards, which is fantastic. So I'm going to show you how I've used AI on this one. You're going to have a response. So in this response, I chose to do a poll. I literally did not type a single thing other than my prompt saying, I want to talk about teamwork, create some questions. So you go ahead and answer those on your screen. As you can see on mine, I've got live results. So I'm curious to see, oh, look. I get a percentage of questions that are answered. There are 3 questions that I chose. I'll give it a couple seconds for you to fill those out. It's a multiple choice. Almost finishing up. Yes, Miss Victoria, I will show you how we can use the AI real quick. I don't want to take too much away because Noelle's got a fantastic session that you'll probably be drooling over. It's so good. So I'm gonna go as fast as I can. And I cannot forget to show you the wand. All right. I can show questions. So you can see here, I love this part. Again, how often do you think group projects help you learn better? Again, I didn't create AI. I didn't do nothing. I just typed in group projects, group work. Again, look at this, more than A through D, which if you have a multi-select type of test, an assessment in your grade level, this is fantastic to practice that. Collaboration, I can end and review it. So you can see here, now I've got a bar graph giving me the results and what everyone chose, which I think is amazing. This is one of the responses. It's poll. So think this is great? Well, guess what? This leads directly into Noelle's part, which is Canva, because Lumio has its own templates, but I am a fan of Canva. I could spend hours in the templates. I don't know if you have this problem as much as Noelle and I do, but we sometimes get lost. But I found this cool summer background. I created this all in Canva first, and actually Canva has an app that will transfer your Canva designs over to Lumio. So super amazing. And that's the end of my lesson. I want to show you a little bit of those features. So this is your home page. When I'm over here, I'm going to edit. When I said, before I edit, when I talked about importing it, I can, if I create it in slides, I can import my design. I can start brand new. When you're in Canva, Noelle will show how the Lumio feature works there. So when I'm in here, edit, super easy to utilize. I would literally hit the plus button wherever I want. So if I want it after this one. So that response, the last one was right here. Notice it says Lumio AI assist. So I can see right here, true or false, multiple answers. That was a poll. I can type in my prompt, what I would like it on. I can also align it my standards. Guess what, guys? They have next generation science standards and Florida for best standards. Super great to align. You will be able to go through every single question. Florida, create a 5-question quiz on character elements. Sure. Strand, I can even select the strand. I'm not gonna lie. No, I don't know that one right now. Super easy. Maybe I have a large group of ELLs in my assessment or my group. And you can see here, it's generating. Generating means AI. What's the name for the character's unique personality traits and behaviors? So they get to choose. If I don't like it, I can edit it. I can delete the question. I can actually add an image. So maybe there's the book that we're doing. I add an image of it. So super amazing. Discard. I want to go over here. These already made graphic organizers. So something that's amazing and you're like, hey, I need something time saving. Don't stress about making something. Come to the graphic organizers that's already made, whether you need a Venn diagram or T-chart or tables. So we're going to do Venn diagram. I'm going to select this. I add it. So what you see on my screen is that page. We're not in the live lesson. This is kind of like the workspace. Remember I told you about that magic wand? Look at the top right-hand corner. There's the magic wand. So you would select this. I can either make this an individual handout, which means each student would get it individually. Group workspace, like we talked about, Jamboard alternative. This would be one of them where they get to work in groups, or whole class whiteboard. Everybody's just going to respond. So once you have converted it, I'll do group workspace. You can say I preview it, how it's going to look, or I can edit it. Edit takes it out of that wand whiteboard. So you have that option to still add to it, everything. And when you're done, you just hit finish editing. I know that was a lot, but guess what? I don't want to take away from Noelle, who's doing something even just as amazing, which is Canva. So I'm going to hand it off.
And I just want to say, because I may not say your name right, Janina is asking how to see like what the students are going to see. And so it's a little bit tricky, because when you use a student link as a teacher, you really need to go in like an incognito window, because Lumio gets kind of confused. But know that whatever you are seeing in your creating your Lumio lesson, that is what your students are going to see. The only slight difference is the first one, the shout it out that Lee did, you saw a box where you typed in your responses. That's what the students would see. What the teacher sees is everybody's responses feeding into that slide. So it's kind of hard to explain, but toggling between what a student sees and a teacher can get a little messy within Lumio.
I also forgot to mention, you can share this with your students. If they missed the lesson, they can actually, you can copy this. This is when you hover over. You can assign it. You can also hit these 3 lessons. Again, work smarter, not harder. You can actually share the link with your colleagues. If we're doing the same topic, why not share to other teachers? It puts a copy in their library where they can add and edit if they want, but at least they have the baseline of it. So super important. You'll be able to, again, pull those results as well from your class and download the lessons and the results. So yeah.
Can you click the 3 dots real quick?
Yep.
See that export as PDF?
Right here.
Rachel. That's where you could download it, like if you needed a paper version of something for a student who was absent, or you could, like Lee just shared, share the student link, and then the student would just go at their own pace and still have to do all the activities. So totally up to you.
The wand was in, if you edit, sorry, top right-hand corner. The wand up here. Yep, the wand. The right is going to be that immersive reader. The wand is going to be right here where you could change it to the group workspace or whole class whiteboard. All right, I'd keep on this forever, so I gotta go.
Thank you. Worries. Thanks for the awesome questions. Honestly, we always want to hear the questions and be able to answer everything we can. So I'm going to talk to you about Canva and some of those kind of collaborative features that you saw within Lumio that you can do right within Canva. So we've had a lot of Canva sessions. We haven't done a great amount of how to use Canva with students. So that's really what this focus is. So I'm going to apologize up front to anyone who's not super Canva savvy, because this is not really a lesson on Canva and how to use Canva, but we're going to get you in there, and hopefully you're going to take some time this summer to kind of navigate Canva. It could become your next BFF, because it's kind of like my BFF. So it's free for everyone, and whether you realized or not, you almost have like a pro. We have a pro account, which are paid features. I want to say they're $20 a month if you are not an educator. So fabulous options are available at our fingertips. It is a platform that allows you to make anything and everything pretty much. Graphics, handouts, worksheets, graphic organizers, pictures, posters, you name it. This entire session here is in Canva, so you could use it in place of Google Slides. And there's always that opportunity to incorporate collaboration from Canva. All right, so accessing Canva, if you go to your district portal, you will locate the Canva tile. You can pin this by clicking that little star when you hover over the tile. You'll locate it if you haven't before. You will locate it in your portal. I'm going to drag this window over here quickly. So when you go to your portal, let me go back to my portal, you will locate Canva. If you don't see it on your main menu, you'll type it inside the search bar. And when you hover, oops, I don't want to do that. When you hover, you can pin it. I mean, you can star it. Mine's already starred, So this is what Canva looks like. We're going to get into how to navigate through Canva in just a minute. So once you get there, you can go in and follow along with me because some of these things are, I have some templates linked in here so you can kind of play around and see how we're using them. So where we're going to focus today is on the education tab. So you're going to go, these are your directions for safekeeping. You are going to go, and they just updated Canva like last week. It's like a whole new look. So if you've been in it recently, but not very recently, it has a little different view. So you're going to go on the left-hand side and see templates. When you click on templates, you're going to get this menu at the top, this template menu. You got business, social media, education. We're going to find ourselves today in education. So you go ahead and click on education, and these are all the different templates that are available. You can sort by content area, you can see what they have already available, or you can come up here and start typing something that you want. Maybe you're going to do something on weather and you want to see what's available. You can filter and just look for specific items. Like I just want a flyer on weather. I just want to do a whiteboard about weather. I just want a presentation about weather. And everything that you have in here is completely 100% customizable. So I'm sorry to say this is the worst part of Canva, making the decision of what's available, because I have a hard time picking from all the options that are there. That's really my number one issue with Canva, is there's too many things to pick from. So so let me just go back real quick. So what we're going to look at today are whiteboards, group work, worksheets and activities, and graphic organizers. That's where we're going to kind of be hanging out with those different activities that are all in the education tab. All right, so let's see what I have first for you. So this first one, I took standard from 4th grade, science standard, about tracing the flow of energy from the sun. If you have this document open, this presentation that was shared with you, you can click on this image that's this food web, and this is an example of a whiteboard. So you're not going to be in my whiteboard. When you click it open, it's your own whiteboard, so you can kind of see how this works. And once you clicked on it, just so you know, once you click on it, it's now in your Canva, so you'll be able to access it later. I recommend, and I say this, I don't always do it, that's why I'm saying it. I recommend you adjust your title because you really don't want it to be like this. So food web, maybe it's, I don't know, AM class if you're departmentalized. That's my food web for my AM class, and then maybe I make a copy of it and I have it for my afternoon class. So I'm going to zoom. This is the beauty of the whiteboard. So you see that? It's like infinite space. Hello, Jamboard. Remember Jamboard, infinite space? So this is a Canva whiteboard. I can zoom it in and I can zoom it out. And I can also modify in here anything that I want to be changed for my students. So if I want students to be working on part 1 and I don't like the directions that are here, I can edit these directions. I just double click in the text. I can delete all the text. My mouse doesn't seem to want to work, and I can put the directions that I want and change it up. These are amazing tools for students. So they would be able to choose their animal and drag it down to wherever it belongs in this web. They can add their, I don't know why my little lion didn't show up here, my little cheetah or leopard or whatever it was. I think I know they're behind this is the little issue. So when I drag them from the top, they go behind the table, which is not actually pretty to see. So I can move my table so that they are behind, and I don't see, oh, here's the layer. So I want to send this to the back. I'm not going to play with it for long, but I sent it to the back. Now it's not on top of the green square, but you see my idea. When I dragged my things from there, they weren't showing up. So that's why they were hidden. So this is an example of a whiteboard. Okay, so I'm going to go back, and I tied it right to standard and science. Not giving a worksheet, just giving on a whiteboard. And I'm going to share in just a moment how to share this with a group of students. So obviously, you're not going to necessarily use a whiteboard for each student to have their own individual one, but I'll do the sharing in just a minute. So here's a group work. Lee shared with us group workspace in Lumio. Here's a way you could do group work with your students. This happens to be a high school standard. Science again, biotic and abiotic components. Sounds like another language to me, but you can go ahead and click on this graphic, this image, and it's going to take you to this example right inside Canva for a group work. And this one I thought was really cool because you could give students a choice whether they're going to do a desert environment, or they're going to do a cold climate, or they're going to do a forest. Oops, nope, I don't think the forest is there. But you see all the little images here. And then up at the top, let me make it a little bit bigger. Up at the top, the students would be able to, they could put their picture if they want, they could put an icon there, they can add their group name. So then I'm going to change my name. So everybody's name in the group, they put theirs, and if there's only 4, they take one of them off. So all of those things are there. You create the directions, and the students are adding either their text boxes, they're putting their text in, they can be over here in the elements, and they're looking for something that may not be on the elements at the bottom. Look, the graphics are coming up that match. When I clicked on elements, the graphics that match with this background, they're all coming up there. So, oh, maybe I want this lizard. I just click on it. There he goes, right into my image, right into my image. So that's an example of a group work. Now click into the next one. This one is math, kind of my passion. So these are 2 examples. This was a 5th grade standard. I really liked this plotting data. Also another one that you could do individually, or you could do an assignment for a small group of students where they're plotting data. You could even, oops, went way too big there. You could even change the data sets. You could duplicate the pages and make multiple copies for the students. I don't want that. For the students to have different variations that they're working on. How would you duplicate? Right up here at the top of each page, hover over those overlapping squares. That's how you duplicate a page. So I just go click, and now it's right down here at the bottom. I just made a second page. So I think all of my new features keep popping up to share with me. So that's another example. That was a worksheet, not on paper, but digitally. And the last one, a graphic organizer. So the graphic organizer, this was a middle school ELA. I really like this one. The traditional worksheet turned into a digital tool. And again, you can have, oops, my goodness, you could, maybe you don't even want this to be for evidence supporting claims with reasons, evidence, and sources. Maybe it's something totally different, but you really like the layout of it. So you can kind of change and edit all of your headings and then assign this to your students. Maybe they're doing it in pairs, maybe it's small group, maybe it's individual, and then everybody's going to submit it to you through, say, Google Classroom. So how does that happen? Well, you're going to come up here to the share. And if you do share, you can change the access level here. So you can change this access level. Let's say you're just going to assign it to a few students. You can add their names right in there. And then you can, you can change, if I type their names right in here, then I will give them access to it. Or you could send the link to the students, and when you drop this one down, you change it to anyone with a link can edit. And then when I send it to those 3 students in their Google Classroom, once they link to it, they will all be able to work on it simultaneously, and they'll have the permission to do that because you gave them one that has anyone with the link can edit it. You can also assign it through Google Classroom. So when you click on Google Classroom, you're going to get this button. It's going to come up and you don't see it, unfortunately, because it's popping up in another window. Let me see if I can show you this way really quick. That's what it looks like. Hold on. This is what it will look like, and you will be able to find your classroom and put it in there. The only thing that's different when it does this, when you send it this way through your Google Classroom, is you can't pick, I'm trying to find my window, you can't pick specific students. So you would have to take the link and put it into the Google Classroom separately and assign it to those students if you wanted just certain students to have access to it. So just keep that in mind. When you do it this way, it goes to the whole class and they all get an individual version of it. So that's another thing to keep in mind. All right, we're moving on. How would you convert a presentation to a whiteboard? So I'm going to do that really quickly in here. I'm going to show you, but your directions are there. So I'm going to make a slide. I'm just going to quickly add a slide here. I'm going to show you how you do this. This is making a whiteboard right from a presentation. So I'm clicking these 3 little dots. I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to click expand to whiteboard. Now my slide frame is there, but I still have all of this infinite space in there to use this as the whiteboard. So that's how you do it right from the slide presentation. All right, getting to the end here. That was changing a presentation to a whiteboard. Oh, now I have a whiteboard. I don't want that in there. So I shared this a little bit with you already, but those are your, on a slide, your directions for sharing. So you can share it. Anyone with the link can edit. And you can also do the Google Classroom that I shared. Just remember, if you share a link that anyone can access, like they legit, anyone can access and change anything. So you can lock things down and maybe students don't realize they can change them. But they can also unlock them. So we know some of those high school, maybe middle school, they're pretty crafty and they might figure that out. So just know, once you share it and anyone can edit, they sure can edit. All right, so Lee's gonna put a link in the chat for you. You don't have access to this one, I don't think. Maybe you do. Maybe it's in your slide deck that we shared with you. I can't quite remember. But Lee's going to put a link to this collaborative whiteboard for you in the chat. And then when you get to that collaborative whiteboard, it should look like this. Now I'm going to tell you, I had this automatically set to anyone with the link can edit. Anyone with the link can edit. But I can quickly change that and then kind of freeze you all from being able to make any changes. But for the next 5 minutes, I would love for you to share something you learned, whether it was from Lumio, something you learned that was from Canva, something you might want to try after attending this session. What would you like to try using? Or something you might still be confused about. Now, how do you do this? You'll have a toolbar right here. You can click the little sticky note and they'll pop right out, and you can pick a color. You can match my colors up here. But please know, this is infinite space. So drag your sticky in a place where you can work on it and see what you're doing. When you zoom, I can't see your zoom. I can only see my zoom. So make your sticky note look the size you need it to look so you can type, and we can zoom in and read what you've written. And hopefully you're not typing on top of someone else's sticky note. See how I'm moving them away so they're not on top of each other? You can move your sticky notes so they're in a place that's not overlapping someone's. You don't even have to add your name. That's the great part. So me as the teacher, I can see what Patricia's writing. I can see what Melissa's writing. I can see what Lauren has contributed. And we can actually have a little chat about what everybody's writing on their sticky note to do this collaborative activity. So that's the really good thing about it. And you have all of that space there that you can write. You can also do text, so I don't have to have a sticky note. I can just click the text box, and here goes my text. And I can do lines. I can pick the line tool, and I can make shapes, and I can do all of those features. So kind of fun, learning, playing, experiencing it with you using it yourself. I know the post get, when there's over 100 people, it's really hard to kind of see what you're doing. Obviously, in your classroom, you're not going to have that many people. So I would recommend that you keep it in a smaller group size to be able to kind of work through some of these collaborative, especially when you're starting for the first time and your students are getting used to it. You can drag your sticky and move it off to the side so it's in a white space and it's not on top of everybody else's. But this is a quick and easy way for you to see who's participating and who is not participating, who's giving some answers and who's not. So let's see, we got, is this Rachel? Rachel says if students, oh, and here's another thing I forgot to tell you. So if you really like someone's answer, you can click on their sticky note and you can give them an emoji. Oh, I love that. I'm going to give you a clapping hand. So like think gallery walks, right? We used to write all on the chart paper and you would write your things and you'd go to the next chart paper and you'd write your things. Well, now you can kind of just do a gallery walk with this whiteboard. You read the stickies, you give it a little heart if you love it. You can even add a comment right to it and say, I love this idea. And then it goes right to that person and you can see what somebody commented on your sticky note. So let me see what Rachel said. If students would prefer the gamified lessons of quizzes or the more free form interaction of Lumio. So I guess Rachel's kind of wondering if students are going to like quizzes more or the interactive features that Lumio has, because you can kind of do both those things in both places. So let's see, Tanya says, I like that you can use AI and Canva. Oh, we love the AI and Canva for sure, for sure. All right, so here's how quick I stop you. I click my share button and then I go can view only. And now what you see is what you see. You are frozen. You can no longer make any changes to my document because I have given you now view access. So all of these, you're all still in here. You can zoom in and see what other people wrote, but you are unable to make any more changes because I have frozen it on your end. So kids are out of control. They're not doing what you want. They're not following along. You freeze it. Now nobody can do anything. Eyes back up on me. I need you to pay attention. These are the things you're forgetting to do. Give some direction. Okay, back at it. Give them edit again. So when they're not focused, you can redirect them. All right. I'm going to give you some time to play. I know you have Canva open. If anyone has any questions, put them in the chat. If you're on any of those templates and you have a question, we do have 4 minutes left. Lee's going to throw that Google form link back in the chat in case anyone missed that one. You do have to complete this, and I will hunt you down to fill it out if you missed. But we have loved having you with us today. And we welcome you to join our mailing list. If you miss out on any of the things that we're doing because it's not getting communicated to you and you're only hearing it from your friend who's at another school, join our mailing list. We are constantly doing trainings and we try really hard to get that out through our mailing list, but we don't spam you with a ton of emails. So that's always great. I will be putting this recording on YouTube this afternoon, and I will be following up with each of you in an email with some resources and a feedback form that we'd love to hear what you thought of this session. Give us some ideas for future sessions. We always love your feedback. And with that, we thank you for diving into engagement with Collaborative Whiteboards. We hope you all have a fabulous summer.
I did also put our EdTech training site has a lot of resources, not just on Lumio, but Canva as well. If you aren't able to come to the Canva Carnival this coming Monday, which is an in-person, I think at Santa Lucia's, right? There are plenty of resources on our EdTech training website. There's a tile on the portal. You've never seen it, you should definitely go visit it. Yeah, and we're always happy to help. I know a lot of people are asking more Canva. I get it. We do tons more in the fall, so please sign up for that mailing list. You'll be the first ones to know. And I think there is even a asynchronous Canva, if I'm correct.
You know, if you're in Canva, you can find some of their trainings. There is a teacher or educator course. It's kind of self-paced. There's videos and then you do an activity. That's a real fun one. You can kind of do it through the summer. It's at your own pace and you just do what feels comfortable for you. I don't know if that's the one that we have in ELM, but we're happy to answer any questions you might have. We'll stick around for a little while and show you what you need to see. But I know we're a couple minutes early. I feel like yesterday I talked really long and I ran out of time, and today I didn't run out of time. So if you have questions, we're here for you.
I think I got one for Tanya, asked about the mailing list. I'm putting that into the chat right now. And if you're asking for the directions for Canva, if you have the link to our presentation, Noelle has slides that show exactly what she was doing on how to share. It's all in there.
And I'm going to try right now, Renata, I'm going to try to find that training right now because I always find it without looking and then I'm not sure how I got there. So give me 1 second. You're going to watch me try to navigate.
Are you trying to sign up for the Canva one? I think it is all booked.
No, I'm trying to show the course inside of Canva. I think that's what you...
Sarithia, if you are looking at Canva Carnival on Monday in person, you'll have to go to e-learning. It might be full, but there is a wait list, I'm assuming, so you can try to sign up. Ooh, a lot of questions. Trying to guess. Trying to get it all.
Okay, for some
Someone,
reason, I thought you could get to it. Oh, I'm going to stop the recording. Hold on.
Rachel, I'm going to share my screen real quick. Noelle, real quick.